Okay, so quarter one hasn't been the best thing ever, but I guess we'll see what happens over the course of the rest of the year. Doom Eternal. All right, so Doom Eternal is, I guess it's a sequel to the 2016 Doom, or you could look at it as like the eighth game in the entire Doom franchise because there's this whole theory about all the Doom games, one long story, blah blah blah. I don't care. This is a direct continuation of that game. I didn't finish that game because I kind of got bored. This game, I did finish it though, so that has to mean something, right? All right, so I think the best way to explain this is with a visualizer. See this bag? This is going to represent Doom Eternal, because what this bag is, ladies and gentlemen, is a mixed bag. Doom Eternal is a mixed bag. I'm going to start with the things that I enjoyed. Traversal is a big element in this game, which is pretty new for the franchise. I mean, there's usually just like you strafe and you jump, and that's really it. This game, there's dashing, there's climbing, there's swinging on bars and stuff. There's all these different ways to incorporate movement and kinetic, the kinetic nature of dashing around and moving and all this stuff into your play style. It doesn't exactly stick the landing, but you can see what they're going for, and it definitely adds a new layer, a new dimension to the gameplay. Also, there's a lot of climbing related puzzles that are pretty satisfying to solve, but again, this is the part where I talk about the stuff I liked. The weapons are really interesting to use. You can upgrade certain aspects of them. You can get, your ammo increases. You can put mods on them, which let you do different things with the weapons. You can switch mods, make gameplay. You've got your ice bomb, your frag grenades. Even the shotgun can shoot frag grenades. There's just a lot of different ways to rip and tear. There's also the chainsaw, which is a pretty main staple of the franchise. You chainsaw enemies, you get ammo. You glory kill enemies, you get health. So it's like, you always have to make this decision, like, am I going to just plain out kill this enemy? Am I going to chainsaw them? Or am I going to glory kill them? Can I afford to not gain anything? Do I need health or do I need ammo? It's a balancing act of what you're going to do to continue your rampage in whatever combat situation you find yourself in. And that type of stuff is really satisfying. There's also customization, in which you upgrade what your suit is capable of doing. Like, you can recharge your stuff faster. You get, like, map upgrades. Not exactly the customization you would expect to get. Although by the end of the game, I did get a red Slayer suit. And I also got a Sentinel suit. I don't actually remember if it was called that. There's a couple of different skins for the guns. I got one as a pre-order. You don't find as many things as I would like you to find. I don't know if it's like a New Game Plus type of thing, but in my playthrough of the game, I unlocked 2 weapon skins. They were both for the shotgun. The combat shotgun, not even the super shotgun. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know. One of them, I think, was a pre-order bonus anyway. So, not exactly too hot in the customization department, but just the fact that it's an element in the game whatsoever is impressive because it's a cut above the last game, I guess. There's also a lot of, like, really cool visual storytelling because, to be honest, I didn't pay very close attention to the plot of the game because it's a Doom game and that type of thing doesn't really take center stage. But through the environments, which are all very distinct and memorable, by the way, very, very big plus on the design team. The creature design and the set design is on point in this game, but since they're all so distinct, there's a lot of different ways that they get across, like, the fact that this is way in the future. A huge battle took place at some point. There's a lot of, like, giant machines and monster carcasses strewn about the environment. You can see a lot of stuff that lets you know that some stuff has gone down, and it's pretty cool. Now it's time for the section where I talk about the things I didn't like, starting with, like I said earlier, the traversal, the climbing, the jumping around, all that stuff. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you have to press a button to attach to a wall, and sometimes it'll detect, and sometimes it won't. You can also dash into the wall, which works. But the thing when you're swinging on a pole, there's no button to activate that. So a lot of times when you're fighting in an arena that has poles on it to swing from, if you so much as come in contact with its hitbox, you graze it with your essence, you swing. And it can mess up a lot of shots that I tried to take. It's like I'm in the middle of trying to shoot a cackle demon or a pain elemental or an archvile or something. I'll get back to archviles. You're swinging. You're just swinging, and it's not fun. And like I said earlier about the archviles, they can be a bit of a nuisance. I didn't say anything about the archviles really until just now. They are really tough, and it's just archviles have just always been annoying, and I don't like them. There's a new enemy type in this game, called the Marauder. It's the most frustrating thing in the entire game. They You eventually get a weapon called the Crucible. It's a one-hit kill. You get a sword. You could kill anything with it, except for, guess what? The Marauder. It takes way too much damage. It has a shield. It has a shotgun. It's got projectile attacks. It summons dogs. It's just the most frustrating thing in the world. Anytime I saw a Marauder, I wasn't like, oh, cool, a challenge. I was like, I'm already fighting 47 demons. This is just going to make my life more complicated than it needs to be. I want to be past this. Like, if you're fighting a Marauder and there's other demons in the environment, you're probably going to lose. You need to fight the Marauder one-on-one, but even then, it's just so annoying that it just makes me wish I could just not fight it and I could just run. That would be nice. As I said earlier about staples of the franchise, of course you get a BFG in this game, but there's like, you get almost no ammo for it. Like, I think you encounter more Marauders than you encounter ammo for the BFG. And it's just so annoying because the BFG is so good. But I only fired it like maybe 7 times in my whole playthrough of the game. It's like, you chainsaw enemies, but you get ammo for literally everything except the BFG. And it's like, not even if I chainsaw like a heavy demon. Like, if I chainsaw an armored Mancubus, I should get BFG ammo. Like, come on. Like, I have to save up 3 things to chainsaw to even get the Mancubus with it. And I don't get any BFG ammo? That's so lame, dude. Also, hitboxes and physics. There were so many times where I would get cornered and like I literally could not double jump, double dash over my enemies because my hitbox would get stuck on theirs and I would just be trapped in this corner until I eventually got overwhelmed and killed. And it's just so frustrating because the checkpoints in these encounters, it starts when the demons start spawning. So even if that encounter goes on for like 15 minutes, if you die at any point before you clear all the enemies and get the buff totem or whatever, if you have to do that, it starts you over from the beginning. And it's just like, I just lost so much progress because of broken physics. I fell through the floor once. That was fun. That was really fun. It's like, combine that with climbing already that doesn't work all the time like it's supposed to. I can't always tell where I'm going. It's just like the physics of this game are so clunky, and it just feels like they were trying to go for something but didn't spend nearly long enough on it. Like, the gunplay is satisfying, but the traversal stuff and the physics in general is just so half-baked. It's like, guys, what were you focused on, dude? Where'd the rent go? Where'd the rent go? And my last and probably biggest gripes with the game are the last 2 bosses. I'm not going to go too deep into what they are because that's still for you to explore, but it essentially consists of shoot it until it's weak and then attack it. But both of these things have this nagging ability to set the entire arena floor on fire. So this game that's all about movement and traversal and high energy combat, you flood the area with enemies that I get why they're there. So I can chainsaw things, so I can glory kill things, get health, get ammo, keep fighting. That's cool. You can put low-level enemies on the ground for that, though. You don't have to send a Mancubus and a Tyrant and an Archvile and all this stuff after me. That's not fun while I'm trying to fight this boss. But you take all of that and you give me a floor I can't stand on. Like, I can't... Like, if I'm going around the arena to try to get ammo that's on the ground, I'm going to step directly in an area that I can't be in 20 times just to go get some plasma ammo so I can shoot this thing so that I can meat hook my way up to it and blood punch it. 6 times. 6 times. You have to repeat this process. It's so boring. It's so tedious. It's just like, it's one of the least imaginative boss fights I've ever seen in a game, and it was a huge letdown. Especially because it's like this studio, well, Machine Games, Wolfenstein, Doom Eternal. Like, come on. Now, I probably spent a long time whining about things I didn't like about the game. Does that mean the game is bad? No. These things were not enough to really get in the way of my enjoyment of the game, but it did hold it back from being super awesome in my opinion. So I guess if I'm going to rate this thing, I'd say it's probably worth buying at full price. Now remember the word probably. Make it huge, boldface, underlined, italics, quotation marks, parentheses, put it in wingdings if you have to. That probably is a big deal, because just because I thought it was barely worth the full price that I paid for the game, and that's even with the campaign being pretty short, doesn't mean that you will enjoy it to the same degree. A lot of people found it to be too easy. I found it to be overly challenging in certain areas, not because the game was hard, but because it was throwing so much BS at me the whole time with these broken physics. But I mean, that just comes down to subjectivity and what you like out of a game. Personally, I enjoyed it enough, and I don't know when or if I'm going to be playing it again. That's just how I felt about it. But Doom Eternal, have you played it? What did you think about it? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below. And gaming, as always, for more videos from me, click like, subscribe, comment below, like I already said, and rip and tear.